Hello and welcome to Opportunity Home San Antonio's regular board meeting. Please note that this meeting will be recorded in its entirety. And I'll begin to conduct the commissioner roll call. Chair, Gabriel Lopez.
Here.
Vice Chair, Gilbert Casillas.
Present.
Dalia Contreras.
Here.
Estrellita Garcia Diaz.
Here.
Janet Garcia.
Present.
Leela Powell.
Here.
Vincent Robinson. Doug Ponick, Board of Commissioners Attorney.
I'm here.
President and CEO, Ed Hinojosa Jr.
Here.
And we have an interpreter located at the back of the room should you need their assistance. You may now call the meeting to order.
Thank you. The Board of Commissioners or its committee may hold a closed meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071-076 for consultation concerning attorney-client matters, real estate, litigation, personnel, and security matters. The board or committee reserves the right to enter into closed meeting at any time during the course of the meeting. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
There are no citizens signed up to speak.
Okay, with no citizens, we'll move to our presentation. Presentation regarding the proposed new rapid bus corridor referred to as the Silver Line. John Tinneman, Strategic Initiatives Manager, Via Metropolitan Transit. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us here today. We're really excited to share some information regarding the Via Rapid Silver Line. Of course, Jeff had every intention of being here, but scheduling became a bit of a challenge. So in his absence, again, I'm here to help share this information and provide an update, if not an overview of the project for those who may have maybe hearing about this for the first time. So the Via Rapid Silver Line, we just came off of a series of 3 public meetings about a couple weeks ago where we had just over 115 attendees attend and participate in these public meetings, solicited comments from both the west side, downtown, and the east side regarding this proposed project. And I just want to lead with that only because through conversations with the community, and in the many stakeholder meetings that Lauren and I have been a part of, we have heard from the community a lot of support for this project, and want to make sure that we're keeping the community engaged and up to date regarding the progress of the project and some of the next steps. So today we'll talk about the Keep SA Moving Plan. We'll talk about how it benefits you and those that you serve, when we will deliver the Via Rapid Silver Line, and some of the next steps as part of the Via Rapid Silver Line and the Keep SA Moving Plan. We really want to make sure that we're leading with why. Why is investing in transit so important? And really, transit is important because it, of course, connects people to opportunities, whether that's education, jobs, healthcare, et cetera. But really, as part of that investment in transit that we approved in November of 2020, we want to make sure that the transit service that we provide is attractive to where not only those who may have other modes or other options for transportation, but also making sure that we're connecting people to those opportunities well beyond what they may have today. And so what this demonstrates here is that when it comes to the frequency of the service that we provide, or how frequently a bus comes to a bus stop to take you to your destination, we see that about 20 minutes or better is where we have high interest in transit. And with that frequency, that level of service that we provide also extends the reach in which people can connect to other opportunities. So as we're advancing through the Keep SA Moving Plan and the components of it, specifically Via Rapid today, we really want to aim for that 10 to 15 minute service, and we'll get into those details for the Via Rapid Silver Line as proposed today. But in real terms, in terms of tangible benefits, here's kind of the lay of the land in terms of level of service provided. So if you look in the blue area, that's for those who may have their own vehicle and connecting to the Bexar County region, and the spread in which they can travel in a 45-minute time frame. Now, if you can travel that far in 45 minutes with your own vehicle, these are all the opportunities that you have, whether that's education, jobs, etc. What you see in the pink area there on the near east side and in the medical center, that's the extent in which you could travel by transit today. And that's in 45 minutes. So your spread in terms of how far you can travel with respect to transit is significantly less. However, as we look to enhance our service, improve our frequency, the amount of opportunity that is available to you increases significantly. But this helps shape the picture of where we are today. So the Keep SA Moving Plan has 3 components to it. It has a better bus system, which is improving the frequency to 30 minutes or better, again, increasing the travel time and how far you can get with respect to that job opportunity, the educational opportunity. The next pillar of the Keep SA Moving Plan is our Via Link service, which is a really exciting service that we offer where it makes sense to, and that's an Uber Lyft-like service without the Uber Lyft-like price tag. So for $1.30, you can travel anywhere within a particular zone, transfer to our fixed route service, connect to the collective network of service that Via provides to get you to, again, wherever your destination may be. And lastly, and what we'll talk about today, is the Advanced Rapid Transit Network, or the Via Rapid Silver Line specifically. Again, I just want to underscore that we've had broad support for this project and these initiatives as part of the Keep SA Moving Plan. It's voter approved to reallocate existing sales tax to fund these transit improvements to the scope of 68% voter approval. So for this plan, and we're really pleased to see the support from the community to, again, invest in the transit initiatives that we have as part of the Keep SA Moving Plan. So Via Rapid, a few note here. So the Via Rapid program is going to help us meet the growth of our region. I think it's been shared in many from many different agencies, municipalities, the county, that we're additional 1 million or so folks moving to our region by the year 2040. So we want to make sure that we're ready for that growth. And by doing so, we also want to make sure that the transportation network and the transit system itself can provide that faster, frequent, and reliable travel for everyone. And through some of the improvements of the Via Rapid program, making sure that we're improving the experience for our customers and those who use the Via services. So the Via Rapid network has really two kind of distinct station configurations, and Via Rapid as a program has 3 lanes, which we'll get into a little bit later. I say 3 types of lanes, rather. It has a center running lane, it has the mixed use traffic lane that we see today, and we also have what's called a business access transit lane, which is similar to what we have downtown. So for those who are looking to make a right turn or turn into a business, they can certainly do so, and we provide that access. But also through the business access transit lane, we're able to ensure the reliability and frequency of the service for the Via Rapid program. But what you see there on the left is that center running lane with the station in the middle of the roadway, and this is a rendering of our Via Rapid. We have the station in the center, we have level boarding, we have bus-friendly traffic signals, and I'll talk about some of the benefits and what it means to our riders as part of that configuration for the Via Rapid network. Proposed Silver Line corridor is really from General McMullen on the west to the Frost Bank Center on the east. And the service would continue to what is underway right now in terms of planning and engineering our East Side Mobility Hub on the east side, and then on the west side, the vehicle would continue to the Kellack Transit Center. But because we're early in the process, and I mentioned the public meetings at the beginning of the presentation here, is to ensure that the proposed Silver Line, where it is today, how it could function, station locations, and a whole host of other factors that you see on the presentation are top of mind when it comes to engineering and design and planning for implementation. So we want to make sure, of course, that we're mindful of accessibility, population density, how it connects to the open. We want to make sure that we're mindful of safety and the environmental impact associated with the proposed Silver Line, but also critically. So we're still in a public comment period right now for the proposed Silver Line, which would close on February 5th. However, that's just from FTA's perspective. We're always wanting to hear from the community regarding the proposed Silver Line. But because we're so early in terms of how this would function and be implemented, the center running lanes that I mentioned earlier, the mixed use, the business access transit lanes, the station locations are still to be determined. And we're hoping to sort through that as we continue to get public feedback over the next few weeks. I mentioned about a few slides ago now the population growth and the growth that our region will be experiencing. And here's a good indicator of this. This is an example of data that we pulled from the Alamo Area Metropolitan Planning Organization. We're seeing about 1 million additional people moving to the Bexar County region, which is a 44% increase of where we are today. But with that, of course, as we continue to make investments in our economy grows, it's projected that we'll have 560,000 additional jobs. Along that proposed silver corridor that we have presented on the previous slide, we're looking at an estimated population growth of about 34,000 and 40,000 jobs as well in that particular area of the corridor. So through the proposed Via Rapid Silver Line and how it would intersect with the Via Rapid Green Line, which is our north-south corridor along San Pedro, ultimately connecting more people to jobs, but saving time, simplifying trips so that can mean fewer transfers and connecting people to more directly to where it is that they need to go. And then it provides that additional transit option that we as a community don't have today. So the benefits of the Via Rapid Silver Line, we're looking at a planned 10-minute service on weekdays, a planned 15-minute service on weekends, and if we go back to the initial graph that I shared at the beginning of the presentation, you really have high interest in transit at that 15-minute or 20-minute or better service, and that's what we're aiming to making sure that as you go to a station location, as a potential rider or rider is going to a station location, that they're not have to be concerned with or worried about a schedule because they know a bus is going to be coming by every 10 or 15 minutes. Bus-friendly traffic signals really, what that means is that as a vehicle is approaching an intersection, and let's say the light is about to cycle from green to red to allow the cross traffic to go across the intersection, that signal would hold so that the bus could clear the intersection, maintain schedule, maintain the efficiency and reliability of the service, and again, connecting people to those opportunities in a timely manner. We have the center running lanes, of course, something that I mentioned as part of that illustration earlier. But two other things to note that I think is probably most impactful when people are boarding the bus. One is if individuals who may have a mobility device, whether that's a wheelchair or what have you, and they're trying to board the bus as it stands today, typically a ramp is deployed where the person would then enter onto the bus that way. But with the Via Rapid service, we'll have level boarding. So there will be no need for a ramp to be deployed. The person could just board the bus and the vehicle could progress. And then they could enter on either the front, middle, or rear-sided doors. We'll have 6 points of entry into the vehicle, but 3 per time depending on where the vehicle is pulling up to a station. So it'll be doors on the left and right side. And then another really exciting feature for this is prepay. So if today, even with your smartphone, you can download the Go Mobile Plus app. You can pay before you board. But there at the stations, we'll have a kiosk where people, so that individuals won't have to fumble through change to find the correct amount and able to pay and continue with the flow of the service. Additional benefits, I think I've talked about these at some level, but connecting more folks to more opportunity, helping with the flow of traffic given the transportation network we have today and the level of population growth we'll be experiencing over the next 20 years or so, improving safety. Some of the things that aren't directly covered in this presentation, but I think it bears mentioning, is that for the Via Rapid Green Line, a project that's well underway today, there's some community improvements associated with that. So it's not all just bus rapid transit related improvements. We're talking about intersection improvements, sidewalk improvements, ADA compliance associated with those sidewalk improvements, just to make sure that connectivity for those who may be riding a bicycle or walking or trying to get to a station location, they're able to do so safely and efficiently. Improving air quality and supporting economic development, as well as connecting to those other goods and services that may be a little bit too far in terms of duration of travel today, but with a service like this, they're able to reduce their time. In fact, for the Via Rapid Green Line, we're seeing almost a 50% reduction in travel time for those who are going on that north-south corridor, connecting people from point A to point B. The Keep SA Moving implementation timeline. So the Via Rapid Green Line, and again, a project that's underway that really kicked off after the November 2020 election, will begin service in 2027. We're in our final design, our final phase of engineering this year, with construction potentially beginning next year. Via Rapid Silver Line, some of the things that we talked about today, is a couple years behind the Via Rapid Green Line. We're very early in that process, and so as we continue to gather feedback from the community and able to secure some of the local funding that's required for the Via Rapid Silver Line to be in execution, we're looking at a 2029 timeframe in which it would be implemented on the east and west side. The last project is that Better Bus one, where we have the Via Link service, that Uber Lyft-like service that I mentioned earlier. We've already launched 4 zones. We're just underway with what we call our Better Bus plan, which I think the community is going to start hearing a lot more about towards the end of February. We're looking at providing that 30-minute or better frequency, allocation from Via's perspective of our fixed route service, and aligning that with the needs of the community. Given all our resources are limited, how can we make sure that we're delivering the most effective service we can with the resources we have? So that's something that the community is going to be hearing more about over the next few weeks. And there's a whole lot more information on the Keep SA Moving plan. I encourage you to go to keepsamoving.com to learn more. But of course, I'm here as well to answer any questions that the board may have. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. Yeah, some of my fellow board members are aware, I love public transit, so I appreciate y'all finally taking this initiative on.
Yes.
It'll be nice to have and fun to ride, because I like using them. So, any comments or questions?
Where is the green line running through?
The question is, where's the green
Where's
line?
where does it start and end?
Yes, good question. So the green line will start at well, 2 things. The capital improvements. We're talking about the stations and the center running lanes. That'll be the airport area down to Steve's Roosevelt area. But the route itself and the beyond that to the Stone Oak Park and Ride on the north side and the Brooks Transit Center on the south side.
What street does it run?
San Pedro Avenue.
San Pedro, okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. I mean, I'm glad to hear this is coming around, because I would ride public transit if we didn't have to wait an hour for a bus to show up.
Yes.
And I'm glad to see this is coming. I'm also for light rail, even though the city kind of goes against it. I wish we could get light rail, because when I visit other cities, they have light rail and it works great. So hopefully we can get to that one day.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just wanted to say I have a question. So, like, are we going to still be using the same system that we currently use, as far as like if there's any delays, right? Are we still going to use the same system that there is now with VIA, as far as like keeping the people that are using the VIA transportation or the green light, are they going to use the same system that is implicated now, or is there like a new and improved time? Like, because you know how you can text, it will actually let you know, update you live, right? And
Yes.
so my question is it going to be the same, or is it going to still be, is there something new and improved, or?
So the technology piece and how we are going to communicate the service and its arrival time, things of that nature, we'll have time bus arrival information there at the stations. But if you're texting it, what I think, generally, yes, I think we're going to have the same system that we have in place in terms of making sure that we're able to communicate on multiple fronts the service that we provide. Will there be something new? That is a bit of a question mark, but I think that is something that we're looking at. But just broadly speaking, for the VIA, we try our best to ensure that developers who make apps, the transit app or any other applications that are out there, have access to our real-time bus arrival information. So regardless of which approach you use, you'll be able to get the same information. Again, trying to make sure that we're democratic in the distribution of that information by making it accessible to as many developers as.
And I'm very grateful for those new accommodations, because sometimes it does delay, when you're boarding on the bus, and it's like, we have an ADA or someone that's in a wheelchair, so thank you for doing that, because, considering that. And that's all for me.
Thank you.
Chairman, I want to thank you for coming and presenting to us today, and would be very interested in seeing, I know you don't have prospective station locations yet. I do have a question about station locations and how USDOT formulas direct station location as opposed to the decision-making that can happen at the local level. That's not my first question. So I would love to see the relationship of our families to the Silver Line and to the Green Line for that matter, although I believe your station locations are more set already on the Green Line.
Correct. Station locations are broadly set already on the Green Line. That's an accurate statement. The Via Rapids Silver Line, I think, because we are so early, we want to make sure that the project in and of itself is reflective of the community's needs, and part of that is ensuring that, hey, so again, at the public meetings, here's the proposed Silver Line corridor, but community, you tell us, is this right? What other things are we missing here with respect to where it is today and where it could be or where it should be? And then as we kind of shore up maybe the corridor's location, we'd come back in the summer, we'd have more robust conversation around station locations, but some of the factors that you saw mentioned here on the slide are just that criteria in which go into assessing what makes sense in terms of the resources we have and what makes sense for the community.
Absolutely, and as a institutional partner that has the interests of our 20,000 families at heart, it would be great if we could see a little bit more graphically what the potential radius from the line is. And I know that our team here would love to work with VIA to get that data and be able to map out those locations.
No, absolutely. It sounds like as our engineers progress, we should probably come back around late March, early April. Okay, yes. So Lauren just shared for everyone that if you go to keepsamoving.com, we do have a public comment form there where we're wanting to capture this type of feedback and ensuring that we're taking this into the next phase of analyses for the Silver Line.
That's great. I also wanted to ask you a little bit if you could explain what the Thriving Communities program is and talk about how the goals of the Thriving Communities program might lead to greater engagement with Opportunity Home.
Yes, so Thriving Communities, though not something I'm particularly focused on at the agency, it does want to take into account housing with respect to the Via Rapid corridor, Silver Line specifically, and how we can ensure that development and affordability is comparable to, is taking into account the investment occurring as a result of the Via Rapid Silver Line can help maybe shore up maybe whether that's increases in property values or what have you with the Thriving Communities grant. So there's some concurrent activity with respect to the Via Rapid Silver Line. Again, I'm not closest to that particular project, but that's kind of a broad overview.
I would love for us to get a little bit more information about the goals of that program, given that we know from past examples that very large infrastructure investments and improvements in amenities can lead to displacement of existing residents. And my understanding is that Thriving Communities is more geared towards ensuring that development will be equitable and that there is planning ahead of time to take into account the benefit to existing residents. So I think that would be something that would be of interest to us here at Opportunity Home.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to add that the transit-oriented development conversation that the City of San Antonio has kicked off, I think is going to be part of that very same conversation to ensure that we're being mindful of what transit-oriented development has and the preservation of existing neighborhoods and their character, but allowing for accommodating this investment people to opportunities.
And I'm sorry, I'm being a little mean here. I'm actually a partner in the Thriving Communities grant application and have been attending those planning meetings. So I represent LISC here in San Antonio. So I'm really excited that when I asked that question, you didn't just say, well, I really just do the alignment, or you said this is what's important to us as an agency. So that was a little cruel of me, but thank you.
Of course.
And maybe as an organization, we should do something to assist in partnership with VIA, with our residents, and try to get that message out. So that way they're not, our residents may not be aware, hey, this is a comment period. Tell us what's important to you, or better yet, tell VIA, So that way, we're encouraging that communication.
Absolutely, and we'll also promote resident engagement in their meeting process so that we'll make sure residents know about those meetings.
Perfect. No further questions? Thanks, John. Appreciate you
Thank y'all so much.
being out here today. All righty, looks like we've got some minutes. The approval of the December 6, 2023 regular board meeting, as well as the January 24 Operations and Real Estate Committee. With no questions, I'll accept the motion.
I so move.
We have a motion to approve the minutes, the regular board minutes from December and the Operations and Real Estate Committee minutes from this month. Second?
Second.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Minutes pass. We have one consent item. Consideration and approval regarding Resolution 6500, authorizing the award of a contract for Victoria Plaza roof replacement to Garland /DBS Incorporated through Omnia Partners. It's for an amount not to exceed $4.4 million and change. With no questions, since we covered this at the ops meeting, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion to approve consent item 5. Who's second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent items approved.
Chair, can I just make a comment on the consent agenda that of gratitude to the city for the bond investment that's allowing us to move forward with that project?
Agreed. So, well, the, looks like Ed, you're up.
The President's report. So there are a few items I'd like to let the board know about. There was a tour of Atlanta sponsored by, it was really led by Secretary Henry Cisneros and the entrepreneurs and small businesses thriving alongside residents on the West Side, which uses the acronym ESTAR, or in Spanish, ESTAD. And this is a trip that I took with our public affairs officer to look at some of the things going on in Atlanta. It was an interesting trip. Councilwoman from District 5 joined us, and many other organizations, including housing advocates, were participating in the tour. eStar's had a couple of meetings subsequent to that, and the core values and guiding principles are starting to emerge from the working group. And one of the principal items is community self-determination as a fundamental principle for moving forward. The group is also going to be very focused on 30% and below AMI, recognizing that that's a need in the West Side. And there's also a large focus on not displacing residents from the West Side, another focus on repopulating the West Side for those residents that have left. And then finally, there's a recognition that investment capital is needed in order to develop 30% units. So the group will be speaking about how that investment capital can be raised. We received an energy efficiency and conservation block grant from the City of San Antonio and the Department of Energy, so we're excited about that. We hosted a Housing in San Antonio event with the Resource Fair. We didn't host it, we participated on Saturday with the City of San Antonio's Neighborhood and Housing Services Department. We were a partner, and we had a table there providing information and resources to the public. There was also a recognition by the Deputy Secretary of the completion of the Promise Zone work on the east side, and that was a 10-year process. So we were excited to be part of that recognition and also partnership that participated. Dream Week, we had a Dream Week event that was exploring compassion through the lived experiences of public housing residents. So thank you, Janice and Richard, for organizing that. The Snowden project received a grant award of $50,000 from the Santikos Charitable Foundation, part of the San Antonio Area Foundation. So thank you, San Antonio Area Foundation, for that. We received a family self-sufficiency grant in the amount of $1.6 million to help us continue providing support services for our residents. I'll skip the next couple of items which are related to holiday events, which now seem like so long ago. We received a safety grant award in the amount of $6,000 from the Texas Political Subdivisions. And we also received a grant from the Nancy Smith Hurd Foundation to provide 480 devices to residents as part of our digital literacy program. This coming week, the Greater San Antonio Chamber, San Antonio to DC trip will be happening. I believe the chair and vice chair will be both participating in that, as well as a few of our staff. The other thing I wanted to report is that the deputy secretary was here at Opportunity Home, and we had an opportunity to visit with her on Friday. The vice chair and chair both joined us. It was a very productive meeting, I think. She provided some insight into HUD's thinking, which she confirmed that HUD is supportive of public housing and will continue supporting public housing. We talked about our vouchers. We talked about project-based vouchers. And we also talked about our reserves. And she is formerly from an MTW agency. I knew her when she worked at the DC Housing Authority. So it was refreshing to have someone at HUD that knows how MTW agencies and the block grant work. And she seemed very supportive of the activities that we have going on here. And I don't know if the chair or vice chair have additional comments from that meeting.
No, we certainly appreciated the meeting, and I think it's important that staff and our residents do here that what we're doing and what we're planning to do are in their best interest. Utilizing the principles that you set forth, and when you became full-time CEO, we're the compassion and equitable communities are important. There were three, but those two in particular, and what we can do. And I challenge the rest of this board as we start seeing those things. Let's use that lens, whether it be through rehabilitation, preservation of our existing communities, which I know that it is tough. We do have many buildings, many things out there, and that we have to, it's incumbent upon us to figure out the best ways to do this. And I'll use the same platform to say, I'm excited about the things that we have in place that's going to help our income-based housing, especially the new things that will come to head hopefully in April or May as we break ground on revitalization efforts that we have going. But then we also don't lose sight of our all the tools that we have available to us, and that we go and explore those partnerships as long as they're in best interest of our residents, our organization. There's a lot of partners that are out there that we can try to figure out ways to help. We recognize this is not a lift just for us. It's a lift by the mayor's office, the city manager's office, as well as several different organizations, one of which is also represented here. Together we can do this. Individually it's tough, but together we should be able to do that, and that's the challenge that's in front of Opportunity Home as well as this board. So I'm excited about all of our participation.
I was just glad to hear from the Deputy Secretary that what this agency is doing is in line with what HUD is wanting, and especially with our mixed income and our public housing. The staff here is doing a good job to, for us to be able to be recognized by the Deputy Secretary that the work we're doing and the path we're taking is in line with them.
Thank you. And that concludes the President's report for today.
Great, thanks. Counselor?
Yes, sir. The board will be going into closed session to discuss personnel and consult with its attorney regarding President and CEO's performance goals and appraisal for 2023 and 2024, and contract under sections 551.074 and 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. The time is 1:38.
We'll go in there real quick. All my stuff was in here. So I figured if we got us four, then we can at least adjourn it. We're back? Okay. We have returned from closed session. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn. A first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is over. Yay.
We oppose.
What's it talk longer? So.